Welcome, Chapter 10, Robotics, Industrial and Consumer Applications. We're going to discuss the general history of automation and robotics, discuss this application of robotics, differentiate between industry and consumer applications, identify common components, discuss impact on future jobs, and any legal issues. So let's look at our opening vignette. Robots provide emotional support to patients and children. Robots have an impact on manufacturing. Now with research and evolution, AI robotics straddle the social world. Hospitals today make an effort to give social and emotional support to parents and their families. This support is especially sensitive when offering treatment to children. Children in hospitals is an unfamiliar, event recommended. The restriction leads to stress, anxiety, and depression, consequentially in the family members. Hospitals try to provide child care support and companions. Research have known for a long time that more than 60% of human communication is not verbal, but rather occurs with facial expression. Thus, social robots have been able to provide emotional communication like a child specialist. One popular robot is providing such support, Huggable. With the help of AI, Huggable is equipped to understand facial expression, temperament, gestures, and human cleverness. It's like a staff member added to the team. Huggable looks like a teddy bear, having a ringing arrangement. A furry, soft body provides childish looks to it, and hence is perceived as a friend by the child. With its mechanical arms, Huggable can perform specific actions quickly. Rather than sporting high-tech devices, Huggable robot is composed of an Android device with a microphone and speaker. There are internal sensors, and a mobile phone that acts as the central nervous system. Android device enables communication between the internal sensors and the teleoperator interface. Its segmental ARM components enable an easy replacement of sensors. I'll have it. Sensors incorporated in a Huggable transmit physical touch and pressure data teleoperation device. The I/O board. Android device receives data from the external source and transmits them to the motor that are attached to the body of the robot. These motors enable movement of the robot. The capacitors are placed in various parts of the robot, known as pressure points. These pressure points enable the robot to understand the pain of the child who's unable to express it verbally. Huggable has been used with children undergoing treatment in Boston's hospital. A 10-year-old had leukemia when he was being treated by the Boston hospital. There was so much activity to do in the hospital, but Huggable being there was great for the kids. Features, so the interaction with Huggables and children was seen hugging it, holding its hand, tickling it, giving it high fives, and treating it as someone they need. Expressions: thank you, 1 second please, in the end. Another benefit to social emotional traits: prevention of infection. Patients have contagious diseases, but the robots are sterilized after each use, preventing infection. So we're able to use robots to help in the medical world. Let's take a look at the overview of robots and the history. Automation. Robot scientists have been the definition, but a common motion of robot is a machine or a physical device or software that it can cooperation with AI can accomplish a reasonable autonomous responsibility autonomously. Robot can sense the effect of the environment. Applications of robot in our day-to-day lives have been increasing. This evolution and the use of technology are called Fourth Industry Revolution. Applications of robotics in manufacturing, health, and information technology fields in the last decades of even rapid deployment and changing the future. Robots are moving from just performing pre-selected repetitive tasks and being able to react to unforeseen circumstances, to perform specialized tasks in healthcare, manufacturing, sports, financial services. Though our imagination of robots are based on R2-D2 and CP3O, from Star Wars movie we have factories have been using robots for a long time for manufacturing. On the consumer side, Roomba, a robot that cleans the floors, perhaps the best example of a robot that we're experiencing soon, already autonomous. Cars. Self-driving cars, the first robot we will learn to trust. We'll dig a bit deeper into driving in a little bit. History. Wikipedia includes an interesting history of robots. Humans have been fascinated with the idea of machines serving them for a long time. The first robot conceptually was 320 BC when Aristotle, a Greek philosopher, stated, if every tool when ordered or even of its own accord could do the work that befits it, then we would need no other apprentice for the master of the work. Leonardo da Vinci drafted a strategy of imaging for robots that looked like humans between 1700s and 1900s, various automation creations, excellent robotics. Clockwork Duck could flap wings and appear. Throughout the industry evolution, robots was triggered by advance and steam-powered and electricity. A consumer demanded increased engineers strove to devise these new methods to increase production by automation. It was composed of steel and powered with a steam engine. In 1913, the world's first moving conveyor belt line was started by Henry Ford. With the aid of a conveyor belt, a car would move the assembly in 93 minutes. Later, in 1920, the term robot was coined. Then a toy robot, Lilliput, was manufactured in Japan. By 1950, innovators were creating machines that could handle dangerous repetitive tasks for defense and industrial manufacturing. Since these robots were primarily designed for heavy-duty industries, they were required to pull, lift, move, push the same way as humans did. Thus, many robots are designed like human arms. Examples include spraying a paint and positioning that. In 1950, the first commercial robotic arm, Planet Bot, was developed in General Motors, later used in the manufacturing plant for the production of radiators. A total of 8 Planet Bots were sold, according to the company. Another robot was created, picture tubes. It weighed close to 4,000 pounds and was pre-programmed by General Motors. The production of the sequence stack hot die cast component. The arm was specifically upgrades, became one of the famous features of the assembly line. A total of 8,500 machines were sold, and half of them went to the automotive industry. Later, was modified for spot welding. New mobile robots into the picture. Developed in 1963, could move freely, avoiding obstacles in its path. A radio antenna was attached to its head, had vision sensors, and Shaky was attached to 2 wheels. The space started by the Russian Sputnik, and the space race was started by the Russian Sputnik, and by the United States led many technology advances, leading growth of robotics. 1976, during the mission to Mars, a Viking lander was created for atmospheric conditions on Mars. Its arm opened and created a tube to gather samples. There were some technical issues during the mission, but scientists were able to fix it remotely. 1986, the first Lego-based educational products were put in the market by Honda. Robotics expand exponentially, more and more. Illustrative applications, changing precision technology. A mobile production company in China, Changing Precision Technologies, switched to the use of robot arms to produce parts for mobile phones. The company previously employed 650 workers. Now robots perform most of the operations, and the company has reduced the workforce to 60, decreasing the workforce by 90%. In the future, the company intends to drop employee count to about 20. With the robots in place, the company not only has achieved an increase in production of 250%, but also cut the defect rate by 25% to a mere 5%. Adidas, worldwide sportswear brand, keeping trends, innovations, and customizing. Adidas has started to automate factories such as speed factories in Germany and Atlanta. A conventional supply chain from the raw materials to the final product takes around 2 months. With automation, it takes just days or weeks. The implementation of robots there was different from other manufacturing processes because raw materials used in shoe manufacturing by Adidas, soft textile. Adidas is working with the company to implement the robotic in the supply chain. Adidas uses technologies such as additive manufacturing, robot arms, computerized netting. San Francisco, flipping burgers is considered low-pay mundane. That provides most people employment of low salaries. Such jobs are likely to disappear over the time because of robots. One such implementation of food burger joint in San Francisco, the burger machine. Making machine is not a traditional robot sporting arms and legs that can move around and work as a human. Instead, it's a complete burger prep device that can work from prepping a burger, for cooking it, and bringing it together a full meal. It blends all robotic power and bringing in the right taste to a Michelin star restaurant. Robots have been used in the defense industry, replace humans, loss of life. Robots reach areas where humans may not be able to, heat, water, and so forth. Sapphire. Fire on a ship is one of the greatest risks to shipboard life. Because of its confined space, challenges regarding smoke and gas, limited access, even procedures for fire drills. Pepper, let's see what else. Components of a robot. Depending on the purpose of the robots are made different components. However, all robots have common features. Sensors, CPU or controller, power supply. Power controller. Power control is the device force of a robot. Most robots run by running, but few are powered by direct current. Others use sufficient sensors. Sensors are used to detect robot and its surrounding. Force sensors, ultrasound sensors, distance sensors, laser sensors, and help the robot make decisions. Vision sensors on the camera are used to build pictures so they can see what's going on. Effectors and rover or manipulators. An effector is nothing but a body of the robot. It can also be described as a device that affects the environment, such as hands, legs, and arms. The CPU controls that. Navigation or actuator. The actuator is that controlling CPU. Various categories of the robot. Preset robots. Preset or pre-program that they have designed to perform the same task over and over 24 hours a day, 7 days a week without any breaks. Preset robots do not alter their behavior, therefore these robots are incredible low error rate and are stable with wearsome work. They are frequently used in manufacturing such as mobile industry, vehicle manufacturing, material handling, welding to save time and money. Preset robots deliver a job in an environment where it's hazardous for humans. Collaborative robots, or cobots. Cobots are robots that are collaborate with humans, assisting them to achieve their goal. The use of cobots is trending in the market. Excellent outlook for collaborative robots. According to the survey, cobots by 2020 could be a $3 billion industry. Standalone robots. Standalone robots are the robots that have built-in AI and work independently without much interference from humans. These robots perform tasks depending on environment, adapt to change. With the use of AI, a standalone learns to modify its behavior and excel in performing its assignments. Autonomous robots have household, military, education, healthcare applications. They walk like a human being. They walk like a human being, avoid obstacles. Some of the robots are used for domestic purposes, standalone vacuum cleaners such as iRobot or Roomba. Standalone robots are used in hospitals to deliver medication. Remote-controlled robots. Even though robots can perform standalone, they do not have human brains. Hence, many require human supervision. These robots can be controlled via Wi-Fi, internet, or satellite. Humans direct remote-control robots to perform complicated or dangerous tasks. The military uses these robots to detonate bombs or act as soldiers around the clock on the battlefield. Supplementary robots enhance the existence of capabilities or replace capabilities that humans have lost or do not have. These type of robots attach you to the human body, connect to the behavior, and communicate with the robot operator directly. The robot can control different things. Autonomous cars, robots in motion. A robot that may eventually touch most people's lives in the autonomous self-driving car. Like many other technologies, self-driving cars have been at the peak of hype recently. But people also recognize their technical, behavior, and regulatory challenges. Nevertheless, technology and process are evolving to make self-driving cars a reality in the future. Mobile phones, with the help of the low-powered computer processing and other accessories such as cameras, mobile phones have become ubiquitous. Many technology development phones such as location awareness and computer vision. Wireless internet connectivity has become more feasible with the rise of 4G and Wi-Fi. Going forward, growth 5G perhaps. Computer centers in cars. A number of new technologies available in today's cars, such as rear view cameras, front and back sensors to help vehicles detect objects in the environment. Maps, navigation maps on mobile phones, and deep learning. Autonomous vehicle development. The heart of autonomous vehicle is laser rangefinder, or light detecting ranger, which is on the vehicle's roof. The LiDAR generates 3D images of the car's surrounding and then combines it with high-resolution world map models, avoid obstacles In addition, many of the cameras are mounted. For example, cameras positioned near the rear view mirror detects traffic lights and takes videos. Before making any navigation decision, the vehicle filters that data. Issues with self-driving cars. Challenges with technology. There have been several challenges with technology used in self-driving cars. Several software and mechanical hurdles are still to overcome in order to roll out a fully autonomous car. For example, Google is still trying to update its software on almost a daily basis for its self-driving car. Several other component companies are still trying to figure out. Environmental challenges. Technology and mechanical capabilities cannot yet address many environmental factors affected by the self-driving cars. For example, there's still concerns regarding the performance and bad weather, likewise several other things. Regulatory challenges. All companies planning to become involved with self-driving cars need to address regulatory hurdles. There are still many unanswered questions about the regulation of autonomous driving. Several questions about liability include these. What will a license involve? Will new drivers be required to get traditional licenses even if they are not drivers? What about young people or older people with disabilities? These are some of the things that have to be answered. Public trust issues. Most people do not yet believe that an autonomous car can keep them safe. Trust and consumer acceptance are critical. For example, if there's a situation when an autonomous car is being forced to choose between the life of a passenger versus a pedestrian, what should be done? So these are some of the issues that we are still having. Impact of robots on current and future jobs. Robots have been on a boom in the manufacturing industry. Besides automation, it's possible with robots, new technology, such as recognition systems, automating jobs that would require humans. We talked about IBM Watson, the ability to digest vast amounts of data in the medical research literature and provide the latest information to the physician. Has been written about all the literature. Similar job enhancement opportunity in many areas have seen. Consider this: AI-powered technology such as narrative science and automated insights that can be ingest structured data, include visualizations generated by software such as Tableau to develop an initial draft of a story of narrative of what comes. Hernandez identified 7 job categories into which robots, particularly AI, generally will expand. She also quoted several other studies. AI can result in 20 to 50 million new jobs over the next 10 to 15 years, predicts 75 to 375 million people will need to change jobs and occupations in the same period. AI development. This is the obvious growing area. As more companies develop products and services based on AI, the need for such developers will continue to increase. iRobot, which produces robotic vacuums, is shifting its hiring from hardware to software engineers as it works to develop its next generation of products. Customer-robot interaction. As more companies deploy robots, these organization acceptance of such robots by both employees and customers are uncertain. A new job category has emerged to study the interaction between robots and its co-workers. Robot managers. Although robots might do the bulk of their work with the specific situations, humans will still need to observe to ensure that the work is progressing as expected. Further, if unusual conditions arise, a human worker has to be alerted and respond to the situation. This would be true in many situations where robots are performing bulk tasks in areas of manufacturing. Data labelers. Robots or AI algorithms learn from example. And the more examples that are given, the better the learning can be. For example, image recognition systems in every setting requires as many examples as possible to improve their systems' recognition capability. This is crucial for not just facial recognition, but also image applications to detect cancer from X-ray images, weather features from radar images, and so on. It requires that all humans view the example images and the label that they are representing a specific person. This work is tedious, required humans. Robot pilots and artists. Robots in generally and drones in particular are being used to provide action shots used overhead cameras or angles, difficult if not impossible for humans. Drones can do this dressed as birds or flowers and provide unique overview as well as enhanced settings. Similar, other robots might be dressed in unique outfits to create a culture ambiance. Such designers' makeups are being hired by many companies to provide services. Test drivers and quality inspectors. Autonomous cars are already become reality. With such automation of vehicles, at least for the foreseeable future, there is a growing need for safety drivers who monitor each vehicle performance and take appropriate actions in unusual situations. This job would not entail the use of remote control, as drone would, but continuous watching of vehicle operation and response. AI lab assistants. This brings us to a very first category of the new jobs we're identifying, AI coders. While their job is to develop algorithms for robots or AI programs, a similar category or highly specialized user is also emerging. Folks who are trained and employed in the using of these hardwares and software systems. For example, physicians have to undergo additional training to be certified to use robots. Legal implications of robots and artificial intelligence. As we noticed in previous section, the AI in general and robotics in particular is far and wide and can be studied both specifically in the context of robots. The more broadly for AI. Legal implications are going to be issues. Tort liability. Self-driving cars and other controlled by AI is a Pandora box. Potential tort liability. Imagine a motorcyclist is injured when a self-driving car veers into his lane. This was an alleged event that happened. The suit settled that thus did not clarify who was to pay when someone is injured by an AI-controlled system. Potential candidates for liability include programmers of the AI system, manufacturers of the product incorporated in AI, and owners of the product. Medical malpractice litigation may similarly be altered by new technology. Patents. The introduction of AI capable of independent and human-assisted inventions raises the variety of questions about patent these creations. Patents have traditionally been granted for novel inventions that not have been obvious improvements of the known technologies viewed through the years. According to this standard, has traditionally asked whether a new technology would have been obvious to a human, but AI becomes ambiguous. The scope is that the obvious expands. If the average person in an industry has access to AI system capability of inventing a new system, many improvements of known technologies can become obvious. Property. Basic tenet of U.S. law is strong protection of property rights. These values extend to corporate entities that own both real estate and movable property in the exclusion of all others with shareholders and retain some allotted portion of the corporate itself. Analysts are presently addressing to what extent property rights should be extended autonomously to AI. Taxation. Robotics and AI will replace a significant number of jobs presently undertaken by humans. Commentators are divided on the new technology will create a number of new jobs equal to those replaced by automation. Should the scope of a new job fall shy of those lost, it would be feasible that a tax-based issue will be created, particular concern with federal payroll tax, whereby workers and employers pay tax premised on the wages made by their employee. If the aggregated number of workers and the net pay are reduced by job automation, the tax payroll will be reduced, given that these taxes are important to the sustainability of various government-run safety nets, such as Social Security, payroll tax shortfalls will significantly be ramification. Bill Gates of Microsoft co-founder set forth proposed a tax on robots if they're used to automate an existing job. Practice of law. Beyond what the law should be, AI will have substantial effects with this discrete segment of practice of law. A prime example of the influence in this area of documentation, the part of the lawsuit where litigants evaluate documents provided by their opponents for relevance to the case. Costs associated with the process can be substantially, given that some cases entail millions of pages by attorneys to review. Corporate clients looking to reduce costs and law firms seeking competitive advantage have adopted AI-based document review systems to minimize the number of billed hours, similar for those who have adopted that. Constitutional law. As it states AI advances, it continues to move towards human-level intelligence, but has become more person-like. Questions arise of whether AI should be afforded rights commonly granted to humans. The U.S. Constitution, First Amendment, provides freedom of speech, assembly, and religion, but should rights of the nature extend to AI? For insistence, one might argue that the right preclude the government from detecting what robot can say at first blush. This proposition seems far-fetched, but perhaps it's not. On the issue, it's notable that the Supreme Court recently extended some free speech right and religious liberties to corporate entities. Professional certification. There are many activities for which humans must receive certification. AI progresses. AI will increasingly be capable of performing these state-regulated endeavors independently of human engagement. With this in mind, standards must be developed to determine whether AI technology is capable. In law enforcement, in addition to policy choices detailing what law, AI may influence enforcement of the rules. Rapid growth of technology will soon afford police forces to access large amounts of near real-time data and computing capacities to determine where crimes are being committed. Recognized infractions may run the gamut from common transgressions to more private acts such as underreporting income tax. The capacity to recognize such criminal act on a large scale raises the variety of enforcement questions. Discretion. So we looked at what AI is. Robots. Automation, repetitive, dangerous. Robots are now able to do this. Every robot, doesn't matter what it is, will have a power unit, sensors, manipulators, logic unit, CPU, and sensors. Collaboration has that. Autonomous vehicles are here to stay and have issues. Millions of jobs are at risk, which has a huge effect on our taxes. Robot and AI creating new challenges. Our homework for today, your paper is going to be discussion questions 1 and 2 and exercise 1 and 7. Remember, that is APA, and your discussion question. Thank you.